What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jenny Moonbloom. It's time for another String of Turtles update. Yay! Just a recap of my last update, and I'll actually add a link above. We transferred our successfully propagated cuttings from sphagnum moss to soil. So let's check these guys out. It's actually been 5 weeks since we made our transfer from sphagnum moss to soil. So check our guys out. They've definitely grown a lot since our last update. As you can see, where is it? As you can see on this side, where is it? As you can see on this side, our strings are kind of crawling up the wall. It's kind of grown into the pot and kind of growing up. So I'm really happy with this whole transition. So the pot has been sitting in a plastic Ziploc bag just to help with the humidity. And our pot was sitting on an east side facing window with lots of bright indirect sunlight. Since we moved into the fall season, I did move our little guys to a south side facing room, and it had a lot of light, had a lot of help from sitting under a grow light tube. Let's get a nice close up of our little turtle babies. As you can see, I didn't know they can kind of crawl up things, so maybe I can experiment with, I don't know, like a moss pole and see if our leaves grow bigger as they grow up. And as you can see, my pot's not super big, but I didn't fill it up to the top with soil either, just because our roots are still small and young. So if we have too much soil, it'll take too long for our roots to drink up water, and that's likely to lead to root rot. So I would recommend this method to anyone else who is propagating their string of turtles. Just keep in mind what works for me may not work best for everyone else, so just experiment with what you got and see what works best for you. So on top of this update, I did want to do an update from my very first video. I'll add a link up as well. If you've seen it, I'm not sure if you remembered, but we did try to propagate a couple of our loose string of turtle leaves that kind of fell off our little cuttings. I started with 5, but as you can see, there's only 2 left. But I think these guys are okay. I didn't want to mess with them too much. I did pull this guy out once, like a long time ago, and he had a teeny tiny root, and I haven't messed with him since. So today's the day we're gonna check them out. Let me get my tools. So 10 weeks ago, I placed these leaves with the stem side down into some succulent soil. I've did my best to keep the humidity up. I kept this little pot in a Ziploc bag to act as a greenhouse, and I've kind of just let it, set it and forget it, and maybe spritz it when the bag was looking kind of dry. So here's our moment of truth. They're green and alive, so I'm assuming we're in good shape here. Just don't want to mess anything up. And what are we working with? Where is the root? It's so small. Yeah, I think we're, I don't know. I think it's alive. I think it's growing. What should I do? Should I check on the other leaf? Let's check on the other leaf. All right, moment of truth. I haven't touched this one at all. This is the biggest leaf, and this one stayed most green, so. Oh, cute. So there's definitely a little root. It's on the darker side, or no. Where is it? So it has a little tiny root. So it's growing. It's growing on its own. It's like the ittiest, bittiest, tiniest fuzzy roots. So Yay, that was a successful propagation. I don't know how long it will take for this guy to grow into a strand or start popping out other leaves, but I'm gonna keep taking care of him how I have been for the past 10 weeks and see what happens. Let's pop these back, guys. Pop these guys back into their soil and kind of leave them alone. So some care tips for these little guys since they've been in soil. Lots of indirect bright sunlight or grow light, high humidity, and I only spritz the soil when it looks dry. I'm really happy with our results. It's actually been what? A 10-week process from start to finish, from cutting to moss to soil, and this is what I'm working with. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining in on this update. Thanks for following my string of turtle cutting propagation adventure. I hope you may have learned something, and I hope you try experimenting on your own, and I hope you have success with your own propagations. If you want more frequent updates on my little string of turtles here, check me out on my Instagram at jenny.moon.bloom. All right, thanks guys.